Hello everyone, my name is Stacy Sexton. I'm a breathwork healer, Reiki master, among many other things. And I'm so glad that this offering of an 8-minute guided breathwork session is finding its way to you. Before we jump in, I'm just going to encourage you right off the bat to make sure that you're in a space that you feel comfortable to lie down and do this breathing technique. If you're not, pause the video, go create yourself a little sacred space. I love to surround myself by some things that just feel really grounding, happy, light, inspiring. So I always have either essential oils being diffused like they are right now. I have eucalyptus and lavender and Douglas fir. You could create sacred smoke with burning dried herbs. You could bring in crystals or rocks or just really anything in your home or wherever you are that makes you feel happy and makes you feel safe and makes you feel good. Pictures of loved ones, pictures of yourself as a child, the list goes on and on. But you will be lying down for this meditation. This is the same breathwork technique that I lead my clients through and that I do in a group setting. So I'm excited to offer a shortened version of it, specifically for those of you who are new to breathwork, perhaps a little bit curious as to what this is, if you've heard me talk about it for quite a bit now. This practice goes by no other name. It's called breathwork. I'm trained under David Elliott and Aaron Telford in this practice, and it's been a technique, a modality, something that has been incredible for me the past 2.5 years to lean on. I use it for giving myself a boost of creative energy and clarity. I use it before I go to bed sometimes, particularly these shorter versions. And I most notably use it to work through old belief systems or something that has honestly taken up too much space in my body that I'm ready to move through and allow it to move through. You know, we often are living in a world that's telling us to compartmentalize, to hold in, to stuff down, and those feelings, those things, those experiences have to come out somewhere. So this practice is really speaking to the nervous system that gets trained very early on in life to be the keeper of trauma, of experiences. And the practice also lets the brain kind of take a break for a little bit, doing its job that it likes to do and keeping us just sort of like doing the same old, same old. So this is a really gorgeous practice that connects you back to your body. It connects you back to the wisdom within and the wisdom above as well. So you can do breath work all days if you like. I think the 8-minute mark is a really great way to get started and just get a little taste of what it can do. And it can look different person to person. So whatever intention you're bringing into this right now is probably going to be a huge influence into how this experience goes for you. So I'll quickly walk you through what this looks like. It's actually a very simple technique. It's a 3-part breath, 2-part inhale, 1-part exhale, and it's all done through the mouth. So let's take our hands for a moment and just place them on the 2 centers that we'll be breathing into, our lower belly and our chest, our heart center. And the first inhale is really focusing on the lower belly and making that nice and full and juicy and full of air. We want it to get nice and big. And then our chest, and then we exhale. That's about the tempo or the cadence that you want to keep it in. It's a little fast, but we're not trying to speed or rush through it either. So if you're finding yourself getting a little slow in there or going hyper speed, bring a little bit of awareness to that. The tempo that I just did is what we want to aim for. And another thing just about these 2 areas of the body, if you're not that familiar with these zones, we are working with our sacral chakra, our lower belly, and our heart chakra. Why is the breath being focused here? These are two of the most sacred terrains of our body that are the keepers of so much of our emotional well-being. And when we do stuff things down, they tend to reside in these parts of our body. You may notice it as a pit in your belly. You might notice it as a heaviness in your chest or on your back or even on your shoulders. So the sacral chakra is where the home to our sexuality, our sensual nature, our joy, our creation, where that all resides. And then our heart is where we give and receive love. It's also where we can feel grief, sorrow. These are robust parts of ourselves. And so the more that we can do to keep energy moving through these parts, the lighter we're going to feel, the more available we're going to feel to life and to be showing up, and really the expression of our own energy that we were intended to come here with before the muck and the mess of the world started leaving its mark. Have to love the human experience. That's what we're meant to do. So if you are someone who's new to this, you might be noticing it's a little hard to bring a bunch of air to this lower belly specifically. We're all taught to keep our bellies tight and small and constricted. So I always say the most radical act of resistance that we can do is actually by allowing our bellies to be soft and supple and full, especially if you are someone who has a womb and has perhaps carried children. This is an incredible threshold within our body, the bridge of spirit world and human world. So we want to fill this up with life, with breath, with our own prana and chi, and keep it moving. So enough talking. That's the breath. Let's go ahead and lay down so you can get started. And before we begin the active breath, we're just going to take a few deep inhales to get settled and grounded into our body. So close your eyes, and I'll instruct you at the very end when it's time to open your eyes back up. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose, nice big belly. And let it go out the mouth. Even though we're lying down, feel those shoulders soften. Another deep inhale through the nose. And just bring attention to what is asking to move through you today, and let it go. Allowing the bottom half of your body to just sink into the ground, the earth below a little bit more deeply. One more inhale. And let it go. And let's begin the active breath together. Your only job is to keep doing that. You might want to go a little faster or a little slower, but aim to kind of stay in that nice little pocket of rhythm. If you're new, you might be noticing a bit of resistance that comes up in this first little bit. Sometimes we start coughing, sometimes we start getting a tickle in our throats. We start yawning and wanting to fall asleep. It's really our brain just trying to get us to stop right now, but we can just thank the brain. Say, thank you, brain, but you get to take a break. And just focus on filling up those two parts of your body with nice, full breaths, powerful, life force going through you right now. Maybe you just want to notice which part of your body is perhaps feeling a little bit tender with this breath. Is it feeling hard to fill up that belly with air? What about that heart center? And if you can just send a little bit more love to your body, we're not trying to push it right now. We're just trying to offer it some love as it does a little bit of this body work. Let's go ahead and make a little bit of sound right now. If you're somewhere that you don't feel comfortable making a ton of noise, that's okay. You can just put your hands cupped over your mouth. Let's just feel in our body where we can offer a big release and what that would sound like if you let it go for a moment. So on the count of 3, you can cup your hands over your mouth. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's really deep. Sometimes it's coming from the oldest parts of our body. If you want to keep making some noise, you can. And then when you're done, return back to your breath. Halfway. Let's use our voice again and offer these words to ourselves and say aloud, I trust my body. Go ahead and say that. I trust my body. I trust my breath. And just get back to the active breath, keeping that nice cadence. If you're feeling tingly right now, that's totally normal. That's your energy. That's you being reunited with some of that gorgeousness that we don't feel often enough. But that's you also being able to trust your breath right now and where it's guiding you, where you are guiding it. While keeping the active breath, let's go ahead and maybe gently move those hips a little bit. Just kind of a nice little gentle circle, allowing the body to open up even more. Perhaps this is helping you bring in more air to that sacral chakra. You could also gently move your head, your neck side to side. You're doing great work right now. Sometimes we feel like we begin to touch the edges of something deep within us. Maybe it's a bit of clarity on something. Perhaps it's something that feels sad. It can feel happy. And just allow yourself to dance with those edges a little bit. See where your breath can take you in just this short amount of time. Okay, let's go ahead and release the active breath and take in a big sip of air through the nose. Nice big round juicy belly, and hold it for just a second and feel that energy pulsing through your body right now. It might feel subtle to you. It might feel like your whole system is shaking. And let it go out the mouth. Eyes are still closed. And take those hands of yours, palms up, and bring them in front of you, almost like a prayer position, but just a little bit farther apart. And see if you can feel that subtle energy between your hands. All that energy that you reactivated and have reminded yourself of, and you can probably feel it. You might move your hands a little bit apart from one another and just sort of feel it pulsing, or you might feel a ball. And now take your hands and place them wherever your body is asking for a little bit more tenderness and nurturing right now. That could be your hips, knees, arms, chest, throat. And just give that energy back to yourself and savor this for a few more seconds. And when you're ready, I know we're never ready from this part, go ahead and just start gently moving your body, your toes, your fingers, making circles with our wrists and ankles. Gently open your eyes when you're feeling ready. And you can remain laying down, or you can sit up, and I'll just send you off with this last little bit of a wish. I have had the benefit of being under amazing teachers as long as I've known this practice, and they always remind me that it's a good idea to savor this energy as long as I can. So I hope that you will go out back into the world and do something really yummy with this that is for you. And if I had to say one thing not to do, it would be to hop back into the throes of technology. All of that can wait. So before you go scroll or get caught up in an email or text even, really listen to what came through in this quick session for you. You know, if you could go turn this into creative energy by making a meal, maybe you want to write, maybe you want to take a bath, go for a walk, connect with a friend, a loved one, anything that would feel really good to you and grounded to you, please go do that. And if you're curious about this practice and kind of seeing where else it can take you, a typical breathwork session is actually 35 minutes of active breath, between 35 minutes and 45 minutes of active breath, and then about 10-15 minutes of that juicy rest portion of it. And like I've said a few times here, it can really look a number of different ways. I've had so many different types of sessions, some where I am crying and releasing a ton. Anger can come through, joy can come through, laughter can come through. It's really a brilliant, simple, potent practice. And if nothing else, I hope that this video reminded you what a powerful tool you're walking with at all times, your breath. What gives us life and sustains us every second of this lifetime is an incredible and highly accessible tool that we can use at any time. So I wish you all the best. Go do something good. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me over email at stacy@stacysexton.com. Stacy is spelled S-T-A-C-E-Y. And I hope to hear from you. And thank you so much for letting this land with you. I wish you all the best.